So normally we have a bumper. Today we don't. Today I am the bumper. And this because today is a very different day in the life of our church. It is the day we have set aside to recognize Victor's retirement and to honor he and Sherry. It's a very significant day in the life of our church. So if you're here and you're a guest and you're going, man, I've never been a part of a service like this, that's probably going to be true, first of all. What I need you to understand, this is a family day. This is a day when you're going to see what we're really like, how we operate, and what we say about relationships being the most important thing in life, our relationship with God and each other. You're going to say, you know what? That's what they really do. And so we have set this aside, significant day in the life of our church. Victor and Sherry have served this church faithfully for the last 18 years. Vic and Sherry, would you stand? At the end of this month, Vic will transition into retirement, and today we're going to commemorate how God has used his life here at TheRoad. There is a passage in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 17, that reads as follows: "Let the elders who rule well be considered worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in the preaching and teaching of God's word." Would you pray with me? Father, thank you for our time. Thank you for giving us a chance to love Vic and Sherry well. Thank you that you blessed us with them, that you've given us a reason to love them well. Father, speak today. Father, you take everything and you work some purpose with it. And Father, if there's a family struggling or man or woman who needs to hear from you, Father, use the words in the message today to even move them toward you. We ask it in the name of Jesus. Amen. So I want to share four very quick thoughts with you today. I'm going to start with talking about the call of God on lives. As a follower of Jesus, if you're following him, you have a call on your life. That he is moving you towards something, that ministry becomes important to you. But there are people that God singles out in his eternal plan whom he calls into a vocational service. I want you to give me your 40 or 60 hours a week, and I want you to serve me in your vocation. And Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5 talks about this. God said of Jeremiah, he said, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew who you were. And before you were born, I set you aside. I appointed you to be a prophet." So before he was ever born, God had said, this is the job I have for you, a prophet to the nation. So in God's kingdom, there's these men and women that God sets aside for a lifetime or a portion of their life in full-time service. So we're getting ready for this. I asked Vic, I said, hey, would you tell me about how God got you here? Tell me the story of what that looked like. So what I'm about to share with you now are his words. Sherry and I both grew up in the small farming community of Carnegie in southwest Oklahoma. I worked at the local bank for 30 years while we raised our three kids. We were active in First Baptist Carnegie, where I served as a deacon. Sherry and I led our young married ministry, and we were involved in everything at the church, at school, and in the community. Basically, if they had voted on the least likely couple to ever leave Carnegie, Oklahoma, it would have been us. When we became empty nesters, God started to unsettle us. I had a fantastic job. We loved our church. We loved our friends. We loved our community. So moving was the last thing on our minds. But God had other plans. We knew God was calling us to something different. We began to pray, and eventually I told my boss, and I started seminary. We began the process of finding God's will for us. To make a long story as short as possible, over the next few months, we had the opportunity to take a few ministry positions that we knew very quickly weren't the opportunity for us. I had several job offers in the banking world that made a lot of sense financially, but again, we knew they just weren't right. But months went by, and after months of not being led to a ministry position, we were offered the opportunity to run a bank in Arkansas. The bank was near Beaver Lake, so it was very tempting. Pause. You need to know that's one of their favorite places is Beaver Lake. So that was kind of doubling down on all of this. We drug our feet, but both of us separately and together decided that this might be where God wanted us, and we would just continue to volunteer and serve in the local church. This is where this gets really good and you see the hand of God. That was on a Wednesday night. I would call to accept the job the next morning. The next morning was busy. I had to take some papers to the lawyer down the street. As I walked back, I got a call from someone named Charles Blass. Charles is a charter member of this church. He is still attending here to this day, one of the few that are still around for us today. I got a call from someone named Charles Blass from Choctaw Road Baptist Church. I didn't know who Charles Blass was, and I'd never heard of Choctaw Road Baptist Church before. We talked, and Charles told me about the church and what was happening there and about Rick, and I politely as possible told him that was all fine and good, but I was getting ready to accept a job in Arkansas. Charles asked me, he said, will you wait one day? One day, and he said, I agreed. In a short time, I got a call from a guy named Rick Sowell, and we kind of strangely enough hit it off. I think it was the next morning that Sherry and I were on our way to meet Rick. It's kind of funny how God works, because just as quickly as we had known some of the other ministry opportunities were not right for us, we felt this might be exactly where God wants us. That was right before the 4th of July, and Rick invited me to the Freedom Celebration that we still do. And shortly after that, we were headed to Choctaw Road as executive pastor. And now, in the blink of an eye, we've been here 18 years. 18 incredible years at the best church with the best people that we could have ever imagined. You see, a calling is different than a career. The call means that your life becomes very visible. Everything you do as a minister is on display. People watch how you spend your money, what kind of car you drive, how you treat your wife, how you raise your children. They watch what you watch on TV and movies, what music you listen to. Everything about your life is on display. Hebrews 13:7 says this, remember your leaders, those who spoke to you the word of God. Consider the outcome of their way of life and imitate their faith. You see, God has a plan for that visibility. As frustrating as it may get at times, people see that, and God says the plan is for them to imitate what faith looks like as it's being lived out in your life. So for the past 18 years, brother, you have lived out your calling among this people in this community. You have stood with their families when they have lost loved ones. You have prayed with our families when they were waiting on a diagnosis from a doctor. You've helped us navigate marriage and parenting problems. For 18 years, Victor, you and Sherry have given us a life worth imitating, and we thank you. I want to talk about the role for just a minute that Victor played here. The role of executive pastor is something that often happens behind the scenes. Now, if you've been around the church very long, you've heard Vic sing. He can sing incredibly, right? Just every Christmas, every time funerals, so many funerals he sang at. If you've been around here longer than that, you've heard him preach. He has filled the pulpit on multiple occasions. But the thing that Vic did that impacted this church more than anything else, few of you have ever seen. Victor managed budgets, solved problems, handled the logistics of all the crazy event things that we decide we got to do, and has led our team well. There's a passage in Exodus 17. It reads as follows. Just listen. Then Amalek came and he fought with Israel at Rephidim. So Moses said to Joshua, choose for us men and go out and fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hand. So Joshua did as Moses told him, and he fought with Amalek. And while Moses and Aaron and Hur went up on top of the hill. Now, whenever Moses held up his hand, Israel prevailed, and whenever he lowered his hand, Amalek prevailed. But Moses' hands grew weary, so they took a stone out and they put it under him, and he sat on it, while Aaron and Hur held up his hands, one on the one side and one on the other. So his hands were steady until the going down of the sun. And Joshua overwhelmed Amalek and his people with the sword. So I'm going to say that Aaron was the first executive pastor in all of Scripture, right? That his job was to hold up somebody else's hands. You see, Moses was the front man. He was the guy that gave the speeches and got the attention. But behind the scenes, when Moses couldn't do what God needed him to do by himself, Aaron held up his hands. And I find this story is kind of crazy because, who noticed? First of all, Moses got this staff holding it up in the air. Well, you can't hold your arms up in the air very long without anything in them. Start holding something and you just can't keep your hands above your head very long. And they notice he's getting tired and they go get a rock for him to sit on. And for the life of me, his legs weren't tired. It was his arms. And I couldn't figure it. Okay, sit down. But then they get on either side of him, Aaron and Hur. And one grabs one hand and one grabs the other. And I love the sentence. They held his hand steady until the going down of the sun. And the Israelites prevailed. Everybody needs someone in their life who can hold their arms up when they can't go on. Vic came into my life 2 years after my wife died. I was ready to quit the job. I tried to quit the job. I was angry. I was frustrated. I needed someone who could talk to me and help me. And Vic came alongside of me and he held up my hands. I've had more than my fair share of kid problems, adult kid problems. Somebody that I could talk to, and Vic was the guy who came alongside of me and held up my hands. And it wasn't just me. It was all of our staff. Listen, here's the truth. It was some of you. It was some of you that Vic came into your life and he held up your hands. And there's a passage in the Bible that says there is a friend that sticks closer than a brother. And Vic has been that friend to me. He is the man behind the scenes. And the majority of his influence and impact on this church, you didn't see, but you live it. You reap the benefit of it. And then I want to talk about the reward for just a second. Because of Victor's life, I need you to understand this church is better. We're better. His financial leadership has put us in an incredible position as a church. We are financially debt-free. We have money in the bank. We paid off 2 building programs under his leadership. Our ministries are well-funded. His wisdom and his counsel have made our families stronger. His attention to detail has made this ministry run smoothly. And Victor leaves us a strong foundation on which the future can be built. So over the last 2 weeks, we've been sneaking our staff out, and they've been cutting video for Victor about today. So I want you to watch the screens. All the people in the video are part of our staff who've worked with Vic over the last years.
Well, Vic, got a few people that are joining me today to kind of talk about just the impact you've had on our lives as we've worked through our work experience, through our personal lives. You've been a part of a lot of journeys here, and we're glad to be a part of this journey with you as you are let loose from the road in a way of speaking. But we're excited about how you're going to be able to continue to help us and journey with us as we're journeying with you. So here's a few friends to tell you the impact you've had on their lives.
Hey, Vic. I just want to take a minute to tell you just how special you are to me and what it's meant to work with you these last 11 years now. I've known that your office door is always open, that if I need someone to talk to or if I have a problem, you've always been there. You are the guy that's gotten some things done around here. Yeah. The playground has been just such a great way to see you enter retirement with such a big impact on the kids that are coming up in the preschool ministry. And so I just appreciate you for getting that done. One of the things that I've been thinking about a lot is just how neat it's been to sit across the hallway from you. Our offices are just right across from each other. And every time your phone rings, to know when Sherry's on the other end of it because you answer, "Hi, sweetheart." And I don't know, that may not have been a big thing for you, but that has made a huge impression on me. And every time I hear you answer that phone, "Hey, hi, sweetheart," it just makes me think about working with my spouse and how we interact and how I want our marriage to look like after 46 years too. So I just appreciate you, the example you've been, the friend you've been, and the boss that you've been.
Hey, Vic, she actually did kind of steal one of my points because that's something that stood out to me is again, how you love well. You love Sherry. You love the Lord and you love Sherry so well. But I'll also speak to how you love your job well. You were the guy that never grumbled or complained. You were always willing to step in and serve and do the jobs that maybe nobody else wanted to do, but were always willing to do them. And that is leadership at its finest. I'll be honest, this is going to be different for all of us, for our church as a whole, but certainly for us as a staff to not have you around. You will be missed for sure. I hope that you plan on coming by and talking Oklahoma City Thunder with us and continuing to just have that relationship, because you excelled in relationships. You would come by and talk to us about anything and everything, asking about the ins and the outs of our family to our ministries, and that just meant a lot that you would do that. We do wish you the absolute best as you continue on, you and Sherry, and the adventures that God has for you guys. But just know that I firmly believe that you served well and you loved well, and couldn't ask for a better guy to get to do that alongside of. And thank you for how much you've loved me and my family. So congratulations. You'll be missed, and we love you.
We do. We love you. We're excited for your next chapter.
Hey, Vic, you made it. You're finally retiring. You get to enjoy life as a grandpa and as a dad, and not have to worry about all of us all the time. But with that being said, I do appreciate what you have done for this staff, for this church, and personally for me the past, 8 years that I've been here longer, but 8 fully on staff. And you've shown patience with me. You took a chance on me when maybe you shouldn't have. You've been an ear I can go to when I'm confused about something, or maybe have an idea for something that maybe shouldn't happen, or been a place that I can go to if I needed someone to be honest and give me the wisdom I'm looking for. I appreciate the service you have had here. You'll be well missed for sure, and I will miss having the fun conversations with you, and you checking in and making sure life's going well. Thank you so much for everything you've done, and thank you for being personally a good friend to me.
Hey, Vic, I'm not supposed to be talking, but I love you so much, I'm going to break the rules today, just to let you know how much your friendship has meant to me over the decades now. 1990, 91, when we moved to Fort Cobb, and I got to know you in the Messengers, and you guys let me tag along and ride on the Messengers van. I felt like my first brush with stardom right there. And just your friendship over the years and your encouragement, the times you would come here as play at Red Rock or all the other places, and now getting to be here and serve with you the last 4.5 years has truly been a blessing. Your encouragement, your character, and just your fun being around. And I just wanted to say thank you for the way you've invested in me personally, the way you've invested in this church and other people, and just the light that you are in this world. I'm going to miss you on a day-to-day basis, but I look forward to just seeing what you guys get to do in retirement, hearing about all the places you go and the good gelato you get to eat in various places. I'm going to be jealous. So I wish you and Sherry and your family the very best, and I love you dearly, brother. I'm going to be quiet now.
Hey, Vic, I bet you're surprised to see me here because you know this is out of my comfort zone, but I really wanted the chance to let you know how much I've enjoyed working with you over the last 16 years. I can say, hands down, you're the best boss that I've ever had, and I could not have done this job without you. Even the times that I came at you with 1,000 questions, you probably wanted to shut your door when you saw me coming. You didn't, and you never made me feel like I was a burden, and I am so thankful for that. I'm thankful for everything that you've done for me and for everything you've done for this church. I'm really going to miss our daily interactions, but I'm so excited for you and Sherry and this new chapter in your lives, and you truly deserve the very best.
Hey, Vic, man, I've known you for 4 years now, and truly I have loved every minute of getting to know you and Sherry and your family. One of the things I've always been impressed with, and it's not something I do well, but you are a master at being patient. And I love how it seems like in the throw and the busyness that sometimes church can be, is that you always were steady and you are calm, collected. You are thoughtful in your words. And then what comes out, what you share, even in the midst of maybe a chaotic moment, is wisdom that we all not only can think on, but chew on and then act on from whatever it is that we're experiencing in the moment. So listen, I really appreciate just the stability that you bring to the table here, to the staff. And thank you. Thank you for modeling that for me. I haven't always had stability modeled the way that you have shown me these past 4 years. It could be done. And I know I'm a better man because of what I have directly and indirectly learned through your patience, stability. You are a constant, incredible patience and presence with your staff and with your family. And man, I am a better guy because of knowing you. I've already got a place in my office. I hope this is okay. Sherry said I could take that mule deer. And so I'm going to go ahead and put that in a real special place in my office. And the fish. I'll take the fish too. Hey, thanks, man. Love you.
Victor, I'm so grateful for the impact that you've had on my life in your time here at Choctaw Road. You've known me well over half my life, and I just love that you got to see me graduate high school and enter into college, starting out as an intern here and now being a full-time staff member. Getting to work under your leadership has been incredible. You are such a kind, humble leader, and I have learned so much just by watching you. And I'm so grateful that you allowed me to dub you Uncle Vic of the office, and I hope that you forever remember that and keep that name and hold it close to your heart. We love you and are just so grateful for all that you've done for us here at Choctaw Road.
Well, that is just a little bit of the appreciation from us as a staff about how much we appreciate you and the mentorship and the leadership that you've had here at The Road. And we're grateful for it, and we're excited about your future for you and Sherry and what that looks like. And hey, we still get to be a part of it, so thanks, man.
So today begins a season of change for our church. This is really the first significant leadership change that we faced. And when Vic came here in 2007, we were running, went back and pulled our records. We averaged 700 people in worship. Total on-campus attendance was 700. Looking at the crowds this week, we'll be close to 2,400. So he has led us over these years. That's great. And when Moses led the children of Israel through the wilderness and get right up until the edge of going into the promised land, and God says, you're not going to do it. He said, but I want you to pass the mantle of leadership on to Joshua. And you probably don't know this. When we began to realize that transition was coming and trying to find out who's going to fill this position, because it's kind of a hard act to follow, right? What are we going to do? And we considered several options. And one day Vic walked in. He said, I want you to think about something. He said, I want you to think about Steve Kiefer. And it didn't take me very long to think. It was like, Vic, that's a fabulous idea if he's on board with us. And obviously he was, because he's working here now. But that Vic even was instrumental in bringing in the person he would hand the mantle of leadership to. So leadership changes. That's just life, right? There's so many changes in life. Leadership's going to change. Here's what doesn't change, and that's culture, who we are as a church. And our trust for the future is not in positions or personalities. It's in the power of God. And God has gotten us this far, and what he began in the life of this church, he will continue. So lastly, Victor, retirement for you doesn't mean a departure from ministry. It just means a change, a transition. And the ministry that you'll be involved in will look different, but it will not end from this point forward. So at this time, I'm going to ask you both to join me on stage, if you would. So we've had a lot of fun with this. In the 5 services that we've had, we've given 5 different gifts by the time the day is done. So Wednesday night, we gave Victor and Sherry season tickets to Oklahoma State football. Nice, good 50-yard line seats. Man, I don't want to mess this up. Then we gave you guys Hal Smith restaurant. It's their favorite restaurant. We gave them a year's worth of going to Hal Smith every month. Every month. And then we gave them, last service, Victor and I talk a lot about this stuff. Really the only thing targeted at him. He had always wanted a Browning over and under shotgun, and we were able to acquire for him a Browning Satori over and under shotgun that's super nice. And we were talking, it may not make you shoot better, but you will look good, doesn't it? You will. And so we have one more gift this service. And again,
it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Oh, no. Well, if it's going to surprise me, now I'm nervous. Oh, yeah. We got you a Fisher-Price airplane. And each service, like for the Hal Smith thing, we gave them plastic forks and knives, and we tried to have fun with it. Well, for this gift, you got the airplane, and here are your boarding passes. And look, listen, you guys are going to get this story. Nobody else got it. You guys made this so hard, it was unreal. I was working with your daughter. There's nothing on that about where you're going. Yeah. So we were gonna do this trip in September for you guys, and I was on the phone with them every day, and you guys kept changing stuff all the time, and we were like, okay, we're gonna lock this trip in, and then they call and go, oh yeah, we got it locked in, and so that's a trip of your choice. You can go to Cabo, you can go to Costa Rica. You got a week trip on us in celebration of your retirement.
This is the fourth time for this, and it hadn't got really any easier. First of all, very humbled and honored that the church is doing this. Rick and the staff is doing this for us. We certainly don't deserve anything, but we do appreciate it. I'd be lying if it didn't excite us to get to do this, and it's fun. But we are very humbled that we're getting experience today, and we're very thankful to all of you that I've known for 18 years, and some of you I've just known for a few months, that have loved on me and Sherry and made this feel like home for 18 years, and it is home. It's exactly where God wanted us, and God's not taking us anywhere else right now, just shifting us a little bit. So we're thankful. We're thankful that 18 years ago he brought us here, and he's kept us here. I've had two jobs since I got out of college. I worked at the bank, as you know, for 30 years, and I worked here 18 years. My only church staff experience has been at Choctaw Road. If every church staff had this experience, they'd never leave that church. This has been a blessing. Rick and I talk about it. We don't really know how good we have it sometimes because of you and what God continues to do here. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts to making this an easy place to minister. Leadership's been easy here. We've always had a great staff. You know, there's days when you got a problem solved, you got to deal with things, but overall we've had a great staff for 15 or 18 years, and right now we currently do, which makes it easy to lead for us because very few problems we have to solve. The other thing I really want to say is that you can be a good leader when your leader is good, and Rick is a great leader. He allows me to do my thing and doesn't look over my shoulder all the time, and we work well together. There was something about when I talked to Rick over the phone, talking to him about Debbie passing away 2 years earlier. Sherry had just had a few years before that 2 or 3 heart attacks. So we kind of had a common bond. I certainly could sympathize with Rick. So we were just two country boys, one from Oklahoma, one from Tennessee, that liked to hunt and fish, that made us have a lot in common, but then our hearts for our family and for God bound us together very quickly. So to my staff and to especially Rick, thank you. I couldn't have had it better. So we're excited about the future of our life, but we're really excited about the future of the church. We're leaving it in good hands with Steve and Rick, and there will be more transition. That's the life cycle of a church. Mm-hmm. But it's not because of me. It's not really because of Rick or any staff member. It's because of God's people and God working through and in his people because you allow him to. Don't ever stop. Don't ever stop being a family, being a home, being a place that people feel comfortable, welcome, and they find God here. That's the best thing you can offer to our community, so please don't ever stop. Sherry and I love you. I thank Sherry for putting up with me for 46 years. When we left Carnegie, we not only left my home, we left Sherry's home and her family. And so it was a big deal, and I appreciate her support through all these years. We're excited about the future, excited about what we get to do. But right now, thank you for loving us. You've blessed us tremendously.
So if you'll remain standing, they're going to move to the foyer. And as they do, that'll give us the chance to fellowship. You're going to tell me something, it looks like.
I just wanted to recognize him at the coffee shop because we love him so much and appreciate him as our pastor and our boss. And we couldn't have a better relationship with him. And he has free things.
Free things forever. All right. They're going to make their way to the foyer because we realize we want you guys to go hug their neck, tell them you appreciate them. We'd never get the next service started. So we move that to the foyer out there. My morning has been filled with people coming and telling me stories. From people who ran out of gas and called the church, and Vic showed up with a gallon of gas. And he sang at my husband's funeral when my husband died, and never know what that meant to me. Love them well. We are practicing what we say every day, that we believe we were created for relationships. First and foremost with God, secondly with each other, and the quality of those relationships determine the quality of life. We love you.